me tell you these few things it did for me. Driving an expensive car motivated me to work harder because I was already conditioned to think that I couldn't really, afford a nicer place. I couldn't really afford the nicer car. I couldn't afford to travel. It made me work so much harder because my car note was over $1,000. It motivated me to go harder. When it was time for me to go home, I would not go home. I would stay out to make sure I made the amount of offers that I needed to make my sales goals, because I knew that if I did not, my car would be repossessed. My credit would be messed up. I would be looking assed out. It forced me. It literally put my back against the wall, and it made me work very, very hard, right? So now that's one part of it. The second thing that it did is it made me feel, I'm not talking about what the reality was. It made me feel more important. So when I was speaking to people, I was more confident. When people saw me in the type of car that I have, they looked at me in a way to where I was bigger than what I really was actually financially. Okay? But I felt like they were supposed to be talking to me like that because based off of the car that I chose to drive. Okay. So not only was I working a lot harder to stay up with being able to keep the payments up and keep the lights on, but I also felt more important. Now, I'm not saying I was more important. I'm not saying that it was true, but I felt that way. Now, let me ask you guys what happens when you get a fresh haircut. When you get a fresh lineup and your cut is crispy, you feel better than you felt before you got in the chair, and you take the long way home. You go stop somewhere so somebody can give you a compliment on your cut. You FaceTime. Instead of calling your joint, your girl, the female you talking to, or whatever the case may be, you FaceTime her. You don't call them. You might want to go out that night. You might say, yo, let me go ahead and hit this lounge. Oh, it's a new spot over there on Rodeo. I'm going to go hit that joint. It's a new spot over there in Buckhead. I'm going to go hit that joint. You feel more confident about yourself when you get that fresh cut. Okay? Now, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you perform good. So when I got the new car, the expensive car, it made me feel very good. Not only from a perspective of I felt important, but I felt like I accomplished something that everybody can't accomplish. And people started to talk to me in a way and treat me in a way as if that were to be true. Okay? So we got a couple of the pros from my standpoint. Then it also made me aware that I am capable of handling that level of a car, because when the maintenance happened, I handled it. When the note came, I handled it. When the insurance came, I handled it. It made me realize not only was I able to handle it and continue paying my rent, my mortgage, not only could I continue living my lifestyle, but I handled it with no problem. I rose to the occasion of handling that expensive car. So you know what that made me think about? It made me realize that I can afford an even more expensive car. So it made me rise to the occasion of how I felt and how other people saw me. So I started to perform better. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. When I wanted to go close deals and when people asked me what I did based off of the car that I drove, it literally funneled people into my business. It funneled people to literally ask me what I do for a living. And that led them to literally come in the shop with me no matter what it is that I was doing. It also gave me credibility. So not only, people used to see me pull up in my Toyota Prius all the time. I drove a Toyota Prius for years. I was driving Uber and Lyft 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week, literally sleeping in my car, going to the gas station, getting some deodorant, literally riding on the app until they kicked me off and then turned on another app to go make more money. That's how long I was driving. And I was doing the same things. I was making good money. When I drove Uber and Lyft, I made $2,800 a week on average. You get what I'm saying? And I already was renting cars out while I was driving Uber. So I made more than $15,000 a month while I was driving Uber. And I was doing the same type of things. Then I got a more expensive car. I got the BMW i8. And I started riding around in that guy. And when people started listening to me speak, bruh, they believed what I was saying. I believed what I was saying. I knew that it was credible because my confidence was to the roof just based off of the car that I was driving and how other people treated me when I was speaking. It was like, I remember speaking to this person and telling them about how I run rental car business and I have Airbnbs, and I listened to them stop me from talking. Listen to this, y'all. They stopped me from talking and confirmed everything that I was telling this person without me even having to convince them. I'm talking about this dude said, no, he's killing it. He's killing the game. He got a property over on Ponce. He got this. I seen him in an IA. I seen him in a Wrangler. I seen him in a Tesla. This dude is going crazy. And he was talking for me instead of me having to speak for myself, just based off of the vehicles that I was driving. So, was it something that I couldn't afford? Yes. I want y'all to hear this part. When I got the car originally, it was something that I could not afford. Listen to me. Now, I met my first mentor, and this is what he told me. He said, how do you plan to have a life that you can afford if you only do things that you can afford? I'm going to say that again. He said, how do you plan to live a life that's beyond what you can afford if you only do things that you can afford? And I said, that's very interesting. That's a hell of a perspective. And I thought about it when I had the car, because before he told me that I already had the car. And I'm seeing what he means. And there's stuff that I can coach you guys on, I can tell you about, but it does not matter if you don't experience it yourself. I'll tell you another thing. Somebody said, yo, I always fly first class. What is my first response to when they say they always fly first class? I can't afford to always fly first class. I don't got it like that. I cannot afford to always fly first class. So hear me out. Before that point, I never flew first class. I fly first class the first time. I flew first class. Not only did they let me bring on more than 2 carry-ons, I brought on 3 carry-ons, and they treated me very nicely. I had on a jacket. They asked me if they could hang it up for me. I sat down and they said, do you want something to drink or eat before we take off? I said, what? And how much it costs? It's complimentary. You're on first class, sir. Do you want some wine? Do you want a soda? Do you want some club soda, water? Do you need anything before we take off? I said, oh, this is crazy. Treating me so nicely. Thank you so much for your business. Is there anything I can do for you? You don't have to. Do you need to use the bathroom? Would you like to meet the pilot? You can go up to the front and see the cockpit if you like. I swear on my life. So I'm like, damn, this is crazy. So now guess what? After I fly first class, I go back and I fly economy again. I go back and I fly economy again. Now, this is the last time that I flew economy. Now, listen to me. I went back and I seen that they treated me so different now that I was in economy class. I didn't enjoy the flight. We were going to the same place, but we had totally different experiences. I'm literally sitting in economy and I'm like, can I get something to drink? They was like, sir, you got to wait until we bring that down the aisle. We'll do that after the pilot gets past this amount of feet. After they get to 20,000 feet in the air, we'll be able to, we'll walk down the aisle and give you guys water when we feel like it. I said, well, goddamn, I'm thirsty now. I'm thirsty. Y'all can't give me nothing to drink before we go? I'm thirsty as shit. I thought, you know what? The last time I got on a flight, they said I can get something to drink before we take off. I'm thirsty now. Matter of fact, I was about to buy some water before I came. I was in the terminal, but I said, I know when I get on my flight that they going to let me get something to drink. And now y'all telling me I got to wait 2 hours to get it? Guess what? I wait for us to get up and they took the seatbelt light off, right? They said, hey, the seatbelt light is off. Then they said, we're going to have some turbulence. So we're going to hold off on giving out refreshments for a while. And I can see, I'm looking up. I can look, listen to me. My eyes are open. I got my glasses on. I look down and I see first class and I see the lady bringing them snacks and drinks and steaks and shit. Asking them. I can hear the lady. She said, what would you want for your meal for the flight? And I said, damn. I said, Miss Lady, do we get a meal? She was like, it's turbulence. We're not going to be serving nothing right now. But if you do want to get a meal, we do got these croissants and we do got these chicken salad sandwiches that you can buy. You can buy a chicken salad sandwich if you want to. And I said, God damn it. It felt horrible, right? So after this is something that you just have to experience. Now, when I sat back in first class again, I sat next to a popular rapper by the name of K-Camp. And then I came back and I sat next to this businessman that I saw on TV. I sat next to this dude from Real Housewives of Atlanta. He owns a restaurant called Bar One in Miami. I sat next to him in first class. I talked to him. All of these things, I was making all these relationships just based off of where I was sitting. Even though we're going to the same location, the same place, guess what happened? I'm having a totally different experience. So now I only fly first class, not because I feel like I'm bougie, not because of that, but I just enjoy the way that they treat me. I enjoy the flight more. I enjoy the experience. It doesn't feel like I'm taking a flight. It just feels like I'm relaxing and chilling until I get to the destination that I want to get to. Same thing goes with Uber. Now, I can tell you about these things, but it doesn't matter what I say. Until you go sit there, you won't know what I'm talking about, and it will just sound like I'm just talking shit to you. But guess what happened? Just like the car I told y'all about, when I got an expensive car, I figured that I can work hard enough that I can afford to get the first class seat every time I have to fly, because the experience is so horrible for me to go back to economy that if I have to fly somewhere, be up in the air, at least I'm going to enjoy it the whole time. Because guess what? I had so much space on the seats in first class. I can stick my leg. I'm 6'5". I didn't know how big the seats was in first class. I thought that every seat on a plane was the same as it was in economy. So when I got in first class, I found out that you got a damn flight that you can lay all the way down like a bed. But again, I literally changed my mindset from that I can't afford it to I can rise to the occasion the same exact way I did when I got my expensive car. And then people started looking at me differently just because I was in first class. Just like when I told y'all about what happened when I got an expensive car. They started looking at me different. They started talking to me different. People literally was wondering what I did just because I was flying in first class. Just because I was one of the first people to get on a plane and the first people to get off the plane. Did y'all know that? When you're in first class, not only are you the first one to get on a plane, you're also the first one to get off. It's crazy. So the reality that comes with this, guys, is the pros sometimes outweigh the cons, even if there are cons to what you're doing. And I'm not telling anybody to just spend frivolously, but I think that this is something that you won't know how it feels until you experience it. So I encourage you. The same thing goes down to all the way about Uber Black. I don't ride regular Ubers. I don't ride Uber X. It's not because I'm bougie, not because I'm wealthy, not because I can just afford it and you can't. It's because the experience riding a Uber Black is 100% different than riding a Uber X. They are going to wait for me longer. If I call a Uber Black right now to my crib and I'm not ready to go out there, and I'm just trying to make sure I call them ahead of time, they going to wait out there for like 10 minutes for me. Versus if you call a Uber X, they only going to wait for 5 minutes and they going to be dying so they can get that cancellation $6 you get whenever you cancel the ride because you ain't come out in time. That Uber Black going to wait for me. Also, when I come outside, they are going to open the door for me. If I got luggage, they are going to put my luggage in the car for me. I don't even got to do it. They're going to do it for me. The second thing is they're also always going to have a charger. How many times you got in an Uber X and they don't have a charger, your phone is about to die? When I get in an Uber Black, every single time they have a charger for me. They be having waters. Also, the AC is always busting and I got enough room for my 6'5" ass to sit down and relax and chill and enjoy the ride. Okay? And you have an option to where you can tell them to be quiet or to talk. And they already know what time it is. So now there is no reason for me to ever take a Uber X when I know that I can take a Uber Black for a couple more dollars to make sure my experience is enjoyable. And then you start to realize that the world works this way. Have y'all ever been like that? You ever heard somebody complaining about a choice that they made? You chose to fly Spirit. And you are mad that they are treating you like how Spirit treats you. The customer service at Chick-fil-A is not the same at McDonald's. How you gonna go over there and complain about Spirit and you know what it is when you go there? So I only fly Delta. Now, if I know that they treat me good at Delta, why would I go fly with another airline? I got my loyalty. They give me perks for flying with them only, and they treat me the best. They treat me. So then you start to realize that life is like this, right? So there's things like racism. There's things like classism. There's things about people are prejudiced, but you can avoid it if you choose to. What I mean by that is if you don't like how somebody treats you in a certain city and they disproportionately over police neighborhoods, you can go move somewhere else and live there. You know that, right? You can live there. If you don't like how they treat you on Spirit, you fly Delta. If you don't like how they treat you on Delta, you fly US Air. And so on and so forth. If you don't like how people treat you in a Honda, you get a Porsche. Does that make sense? If you don't like how it's just the reality. This dude is talking to me wrong in this Starbucks. Leave that Starbucks. You never going to see Pushman Mitch doing a Million Man March. Y'all never going to see me. Listen to me, y'all. You are never going to see me on Instagram like, yo, I'm up in this Starbucks and they telling me to leave. And this man right here, he didn't order a drink and they not harassing him, telling him to leave. I think we should boycott Starbucks. You're never going to see Pushman Mitch doing that. Why? Why would I take you away from your grind, from your bag, from your work, for you to come help me do a march against somebody that doesn't want my business? Why am I fighting for the right to go and pay money to somebody that doesn't want my business? That's our problem now. I'm going to go do a boycott and say Starbucks is racist, all that because one employee or one person hated on me. Not every black person, not just me. They don't want my business. So I go to the Starbucks on Peachtree and Piedmont, the one that they treat me right every time, that when I walk in or they show me mad love, I'll go to that Starbucks. Why do I got to do a march? That's the problem that we have, is we waste energy, time, trying to live in a place where people don't want us. I go where I am treated the way that I want to be treated. I fly on an airline where they treat me the way they want. I ride in an Uber that they treat me. I eat at the restaurant where they treat me, and so on and so forth. We control a lot more than we think. But I think that a lot of us have it mistaken to where we say, oh, we already got one strike against us because, yo, listen, I done been in cities where it's mad racist. I used to live in Savannah, Georgia. It's mad racist people down there. I did. I live in Atlanta right now. Black kings all around here living in mansions, driving Lambos. I love it. It's cool here. It's dope. I was staying in this neighborhood where the neighbors was hating on me. I moved. That's it. End of story. There's no big march. There's no me going on Instagram complaining. There's none of that. You're not missing out on work. You're not missing out on your money. You're not getting unfocused. I'm still empowering you economically. This is what financial freedom looks like, when you can have the freedom to choose what it is that you liked. Right? Some people don't like Atlanta. Some people have bad experiences in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Listen to me. I can live anywhere that I want. I can live in LA. I can live in Miami. I can live in New York. I can live in DC, and so on and so forth. Atlanta is home for Pushman Mitch. I love the way the people treat me. I love the way that the restaurants are. I love the way that how I can drive around the Rolls Royce and it's not even that big of a deal. I love it in Atlanta. All of the entrepreneurs that are around here, we work together. Of course, there's some haters and you cannot ever get away from that. But I've been to a lot of cities where I try to get people to collaborate like we do in ATL. And I promise you, them boys down there in Miami, they don't want to collab. I'm sorry to tell y'all. They don't want to collab with you in Miami. When you go to Miami, you better already have your bag, right? It's going to be motivational. It's going to be exotic vehicles everywhere. It's going to be people living in $15,000 apartments. People have $10 million houses, $20 million houses. But in Miami, you got to have your own thing going. They don't really want to collaborate in groups. You might find one dude. You might even find two. But you ain't going to find how we got into the A. In Houston, it's very dope in Houston. A lot of black money out there. A lot of collaboration. Just not as good as Atlanta. It's good though. DC, same thing. A lot of black money out there. A lot of collaboration. It's not as much as ATL. I've been there. I've stayed there for long periods of time. Love it there. Beautiful city. It's not as dope as ATL. You know what New York is about. Not going to say nothing about it. You know how LA move. I'm not going to say anything about it. Not as good as ATL. So in any instance, we can choose where we want to go. A lot of y'all think that y'all in a box that you created. You created your box. When I used to live in Philly, I thought the world was as big as the block. The world was as big as the corners of Philadelphia. Until I left. When I left, I was like, oh, it's that easy to just leave? It's that easy to just leave and recreate yourself. Some of us think that we are at our pinnacle. We think that this is our peak. If you go move to another city, bruh, I want you to realize this. I want y'all to imagine this. Imagine you go to your friends and they believe you. I bet you can't even believe. I bet you can't even understand what I'm saying. Imagine you go to your friends and you say, I run the #1 clothing brand in the U.S. And you told them that. You told a person, your friend, that, and they believed you. Imagine that. You see, when you go to a new neighborhood, it's just like when you go to, you graduate from high school and you go to college and you wasn't popular in high school. You wasn't popular in high school. But when you go to college, you get to recreate yourself again. And now all of these people are new friends to you. So everything that you say to them, they believe you. Your reputation starts over anew. Now what you say could possibly be true. And all of your old friends who will always say, hell no, I remember you said that in 4th grade. I remember you said that in 2020. I remember you said that in 2019 and you lied about that. You always saying you're going to do something. You always saying you're going to start something, but you never finish. But when you go to that new neighborhood, when you go to that new city, everybody believes you 100%. So you have a reason, you have an ability to recreate yourself and actually mean what you say and say what you mean. And everybody's not going to hate on you because they don't know the old you. They don't know the you that used to give up. They don't know the you that used to be playing around and saying you're going to do this and completing it and then turning your back on what you said you was going to do. They 100% trust you because they have no reason not to. That's the power of moving out of your city you grew up in and going and changing your environment and being around people that literally, y'all ever heard that saying where they say a stranger will support you better than so-and-so? A stranger will support you better than your family. Stranger will support you better than your best friends. And your best friends are not choosing to not support you because they don't believe in you or whatever. It's because they know you. They know you. They know the old you. They remember you starting and stopping. They remember you capping and lying. They remember you not supporting them. These new people, they have no reason not to believe you. So of course they will support you. You are starting over anew. So that's what I mean by saying, like, if you choose to stay somewhere where you're not valued or where you're not feeling like this whole conversation started off with expensive cars, making you feel like you're important, making you feel like you're a boss, making you feel, y'all don't realize that feelings, we are emotional beings. And if you feel like a boss If you feel appreciated, if you feel like you are heading in the right direction, the sky is the limit. You will become a millionaire in no time because you're confident when you're running plays. You be like, you know what? I am the shit. You be like, you know what? I am a boss. You know what? I can do this. You know what? If I do start this business, it will work. You know what? I went and got that expensive car, right? I can go get that expensive house. I flew first class, right? I can afford that. I can go. And then you start to believe. You start to really feel like you can really do these things. And when the surroundings around you have people, characters, like you're the lead character in your own movie, the supporting characters are showing you love. The supporting characters are coming out the woodworks and clapping for you when you win. The supporting cast is saying, you can do that. You right, you fire, you dope. Hey, that shit fire. Y'all ever had a stranger tell you that before? Hey, bruh, you fire. Yeah, you ain't never heard that before? Because you probably in your same neighborhood you grew up with. Because when I be walking, niggas like, yo, Mitch, I ain't gonna lie, you fire as hell. I ain't even know what the fuck that mean. I'm from Philly. We don't say that. That nigga say, hey, shawty, you fire as hell. Hey, that car, that bitch fire. Yo homies don't tell you that. They don't say that. They joke on you. They clown on you. Nigga, you ain't gonna do shit. Stop it. This nigga capping. You can't do that shit, bro. Come on, dog. Stop capping. You ain't start. Nigga, you starting a business. Man, come on. Stop that shit, man. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't got not one nigga around me. I don't got not one nigga around me that's going to say no. All of us going to say how. Hey, yo, look, I want to get a helicopter. They say, how we going to do it? Ain't nobody going to say, oh, man, you can't get no helicopter. They ain't going to say, hey, start off a little smaller, man. Start right here. Hey, maybe you should go ahead and start off with a big wheel first. No, them niggas going to say, how we get that motherfucker? You want to get a helicopter? Which one? Which one you trying to get? The $4 million boy or that $2 million boy? Which one you gonna get? My whole squad move like that. You see my niggas, me and all my niggas got Lambs and Roses and McLarens. Chose them friends. Chose them. Came up into a new environment that was unnatural to me. And when I said something to them niggas said, for sure, Mitch, that shit fire. You do what? That's fire. That shit. You don't know what that does to a person's mental. You don't know what that energy does to a person. It brings confidence. Making money in business is all about confidence. That's all it's about. Y'all watch YouTubes all the time where they tell you how to become a trader, how to start a trucking company, how to do hotshot trucking, how to do a funding business. And you never go run that play because you're not confident enough to go do that. YouTube video don't make you confident. It might make you excited. It might even inform you, but it ain't going to have you confident to go just, oh, I just watched a YouTube video. Let me go walk in a bank and fill out a fucking form and say this on it. No fucking way. That's why mentors are so important, because it helps you borrow their confidence. I did it. Check it out. Look at the results right here. I'm looking at you. You can do the same thing as me. Go do it. Now you're like, okay, I'll go do it. I'm confident about it. But no YouTube video going to do that for you. Also, if I put you in an environment full of people who all saying you can do it, and I did it too, do you know how powerful that is? Imagine just being dropped in a group full of people. You want to do this one thing. Let's just use a Lambo. You want to get a Lamborghini. That's what you want to do. Imagine I drop you in a group full of niggas of 20. And all 20 people got a Lamborghini, all 20. And you come in there and say, I want to get a Lamborghini. They say, bet, you can do it. Go ahead. All you got to do is this. Do you think you're going to be confident to go do whatever it is they say you got to do? Just answer yes or no. If I drop you in a group of niggas, there's 20 of them, all of them got a Lambo. And you say, I want a Lamborghini. And they say, bet, you could do it. All you got to do is this. This is what we did. You think you're going to be confident to go run that play? Are you going to say, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to work. I ain't really sure about that. What you think you're going to say? You're going to say, fuck yeah, I'm about to go do that shit. That's how powerful environment and borrowing confidence is. All of this money shit, all of this, look, bro, come on, look, let's just be real. Look at my shit. I got my name on the wall. This motherfucker gigantic. I got a scooter in the crib. I can ride around. This is just the first floor of the crib. My nigga, I'm from Southwest Philly. All of the cribs connected to each other. My roaches is his roaches, nigga. The rats in the crib, the mice in the crib. If my mouse trap don't work, that same mouse is going to be at the next door neighbor house tomorrow. We sharing the fucking mouses. I'm not supposed to have this crib. But what happened was I walked into my homie Gooch crib who got a mansion. And I said, this is a nice motherfucking house. I'm going to tell y'all a true story. If I'm lying, I'm motherfucking dying. On my life. On my soul. Y'all hear me? On my soul. Listen to me. I went into my homie Gooch crib. He got a mansion in Buckhead. The shit is mad nice. I step in the crib. He telling me how heavy the door is, an 800-pound door. And he like, yeah, this joint mad nice. We had to carry the 800-pound door all the way up this big-ass driveway. It was crazy. I said, this motherfucker nice. I want to get one, too. He said, well, shit, go ahead and get one. You can get one. I said, I can. He said, you don't know Virgil? Watch this. I swear on my life. He said, you don't know Virgil? I said, yeah, I know Virgil. He said, yeah, you know, he the one who got me this crib. I'm going to put y'all together. This nigga calls Virgil. Put me on three-way with him. Within 3 months, I had my own mansion, modern style house in the middle of Piedmont Park. Because I was in the room with the nigga who had the mansion. He had it. And I said, I want one too. He said, yeah, let me put you with my man Virgil. My nigga Virgil got me the first crib down there, and he got this crib too. Both of them. Because I just talked to him, got the confidence from him, and then he put me with the nigga who was going to get it. And I felt confident enough to buy the house because I was like, well, shit, my nigga got one. He said I can get one. I'm going to go ahead and try it. The nigga got me. I got a crib. We closed in less than 30 days. So all I'm saying is this. Environment and confidence is all this is about. And small things build up to giant things. Expensive cars, it might start there. You might over leverage yourself. You might get a whip that just costs too much, but that might turn you up to say, I gotta go a little bit harder if I want to be able to afford this fucking car and my crib and my bills. I can't just be playing around. I can't afford it, but I'm gonna go for it. Now you get the nice whip. The shit got you confident than a bitch. You walking around, people just like, hey man, nice car. You're like, damn, I like that. Nobody ever said that to me. I felt like I built the car. I feel like I built the car. Niggas like, that's a nice car, man. I'm like, well, thank you. Why am I saying thank you? Did I build this motherfucker? Did I build this? Am I an engineer? Niggas saying nice car to me all day like I'm a builder. Like I built that bitch. I'm just driving it. I'm feeling good. I walk in the gym. After hopping out that motherfucking BMW i8, the door go up like a butterfly. I hop out that bitch feeling like Batman. Confident than a bitch. They're like, yo, look, they ask me, what do you do? I'm like, shit, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, ooh, that sound good. That sound good than a motherfucker. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. As a matter of fact, I run the #1 rental car business in Georgia. They like, you sure do? When can I get a car from you? I'm like, well, shit, what car do you need? I got this, and this. I got this available today. They're like, shit, I need that right now. I'll book it. I said, you'll book it right now? No, you don't even need to see my website or nothing? You don't need to see my website? No, you don't need to see Google business page? No, you just want the car right now? Yeah, let me get the car. What we got to do? I said, God damn, this is crazy. I'm just letting y'all know that's how it starts. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you perform good. And some of y'all don't look good. You wondering why niggas not talking to you and want to do business. You ain't get a haircut mad long. Shorty, you ain't get your hair done mad long. You look crazy. Every time you out, you wearing some crazy shit. You not feeling confident. You driving to pick them up, bust them up. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I was driving a Prius for mad long. Mad long. Now somebody renting that same Prius mad long. 2 years. They had that same 2011 Toyota Prius. They renting it from me for $280 a week. Been renting it for 2 years. I know y'all like how animated I am, but I just like to really let y'all know what time it is, because some of y'all just need this. Y'all didn't even know y'all needed to hear this, because some of y'all are hiding behind the fact that you think, I don't even know how I just put that filter on here just now. But y'all are hiding behind the fact that you think that you got to be able to afford some shit. When I first invested in a mentor, when I first invested in my exotic car, I could not afford it. Man, I rose to the occasion. Man, I turned up to the next level. Man, I felt so confident. Man, people believed me. And once they believed in me, I believed in me. And when we both believed in each other, I became the person I was trying to portray. I became that. I spoke that. I walk that. I talk that. What is the difference between you and an actor? Somebody tell me, what's the difference between you and an actor? You just start acting. Somebody say, I'm an aspiring actor. For you to become an actor, you just go do that thing. You just go do that thing. You just go start acting. Now you're an actor. Your budgets might be this. Your budgets might be lower. It might be not $20 million. But for you to become an actor, you start acting. Now you are an actor. The same thing with rapping, with singing, same thing with a businessman, same thing with a person who does credit repair. The minute you start fixing your credit, you are now a person who does credit repair. Before that, you ain't do shit. So for those people who are hiding behind, I can't afford it, my nigga, just do it. Just do it and become who you say you are. You are who you say you are, and you are what you do. So watch what you do. And that's the only thing. I'm sorry this filter came on. I don't know how it came on. I can't get it off. But I just want y'all to realize this is what it is. There we go. Got it. This is what it is. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Stop you. Before you are the CEO of a company, you have to do it. Do y'all think somebody is born a CEO? Do y'all think somebody is born a founder? Do y'all think somebody is born that way? No, bro. You got to become it. How do you become it? You got to start doing it. Before I did my first $1 million deal, I had to go try it. Don't y'all got to understand that? Before I do a $1 million deal, get $1 million wire, I got to go do it. I got to go say, look, it's going to cost $1 million. And I got to sit there confidently. I can't let my face break. I got to have my full poker face. Never got $1 million wire before. I got to say, it's going to cost you $1.1 million exactly. And I got to hold my face confidently while they say, okay. And then now I did my $1 million deal. Same thing go for 2, 5, 10. $100,000. Before you got your first $100,000 wire, you never did it before. You never got paid that much before at once. You got to confidently go do the thing that gets you paid $100,000. And then you ask for your money. You say, that's going to be $100K. And then you wait for them to say, bet, I'm about to send that wire over. Send me over all of your wiring instructions. And then you got it. Now you've done it. But it don't just happen by magic. It don't just happen by you just praying. You got to get out there and go work. You got to get out there and become the thing. You're not it already. You become the thing. They say you got to learn how to lie, steal, and cheat. The first person you lie to is yourself. And say that you can do something that you've never done. You got to tell yourself that you can do it, even though you lying. You ain't do it before, so you know you're lying. Steal from the people who doing what you already want to do. They already doing it. You got to steal from them. Take their skill set, their strategies, their consistency, their routines, their blueprint. And you cheat off their test by going to wherever those people are. Go be around them, be in that environment and cheat off of them. When you was in school and you didn't know the answer to the test, you was not going to cheat off the person that's the dumbest in the class test. Was you? Was you going to go sit next to the nigga who the class clown who get all F's and cheat off his test? No, you sit next to the smartest kid. But for some reason, y'all want to stay in y'all same neighborhood full of people that make the same amount of money as you, who drive the same cars as you, who had the same conversation, go to the same clubs as you, and you want to get advice. And you want to go share business strategies with a nigga who got the same amount of money as you. You go cheat off the nigga test who got the results you want. Nigga got straight A's. Nigga got straight A's. I'm copying off his test. I don't got to check behind him. I know them answers is right. He said the answer is B. I'm putting B. Y'all going to copy off a nigga test who got the same grades as you. What y'all look like? What y'all look like doing that shit? You gonna go cheat off a nigga test who got the same grades as you. And then you mad when you get the same results as he got. We drive expensive cars. They tried to end it twice. Expensive cars. Starts there. It starts there. It starts there. And it's not something that you need. It starts with a haircut. You get that haircut, you feel good, you look good, you go and perform good. It starts there. Then it go from Uber X to Uber Black. Then it go from economy class to first class. Then it go to expensive car. Then it go to expensive wire. Then it go to $1 million acquisition. It don't just start there. You don't build a skyscraper starting off at the 20th floor, homie. You start off on ground zero. You start off on the first floor. And then after the first floor is done, you put the second floor and then the third floor. Stop trying to skip steps. Whenever you try to take a shortcut, your shit get cut short. Be number 2 so you can learn to be number 1. And again, if anybody here want to tap in and learn from the source, all you got to do is DM me the word call. Get on the phone with me. I'll put you in a program and I'm going to show you how to get your money up, not your funny up. All day and night we get results like this. Run a play, 25K, 800 credit score. They call me the GOAT. That's it. They call me the GOAT after that. And it's simple. Simplicity. Y'all got me? It is what it is. Much love and respect. Have a great night. Like, comment, subscribe to the vibe because you know I always get it in. And make sure you are constantly trying to grow. And if you're not, you know you run in the same place. Get your money up, not your funny up. I said DM me the word call, not comment the word call. It starts with being able to pay attention and follow directions, or else you're going to get the same results you always get. Peace to the Middle East. You know the vibes. You dig?